see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and for you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, clouds of white, the bright blessed day and the dark sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people gone by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Well, good morning. It's such a beautiful, beautiful day outside. And when I stand here and I'm able to look out into that beautiful parkway, I just feel so blessed to be here this morning. And I welcome you. And I hope you'll have a wonderful experience this morning as we talk about Earth Day. So thank you so much for being here.
Hey, we're having a celebration today, so help me sing this song. We all know it. Happy Earth Day to you. Happy Earth Day to you. Happy Earth Day, dear planet. Happy Earth Day to you.
That was cute. Sing with us.
So I'm sure we all know this song, For the Beauty of the Earth. For the beauty of the earth, for the glory of the skies, for the love which from our birth over and around us lies.
please join me in saying the statement of faith. There is only one power and one presence in the universe and in my life. God, the good, omnipotent.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. I can hear the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
Everything on earth is borrowed. There is no mine or yours, there is only ours. Even time is borrowed. We kill over a plot of land that belongs only to our Mother Earth. All you have is what you came with, and what you will leave with, your spirit.
You know, last Sunday when you were here, Maylin sang a song that really deeply resonated with me. And the lyrics really inspired me to encourage everyone to take loving action to save our planet. And the message of the lesson today is reflected in these words. We are the ones that we have been waiting for. We are the ones who make a difference. We are the ones who will change the world. We are the ones. So in keeping with the theme of Earth Day this year, our planet, our power, we have the power, and we can take our power and do the things that we need to do to help create a more valuable, beautiful, wonderful planet. This is a photo of Earth from space. So my objective this morning is to inspire, empower each one to find ways to try to save this environment. Each one of us has the power to make a positive impact on the planet. And by recognizing our influence, we have as individuals and as a community the ability to take the meaningful steps to care for the earth, whether it's practicing mindful habits, encouraging others, or making daily choices that benefit the planet. We all are part of the collective consciousness and the collective effort in protecting and preserving our world. And through inspiration and awareness, it becomes clear that every action that we take, regardless of how small that action is, makes a difference. It does make a difference when you're walking down the street and you have a can in your hand and you take it back home and you put it in a recycle rather than just leave it on the street. That is something that we can do, just little things. This year, as you probably remember, 4 astronauts were launched on a mission in the vicinity of the moon for the first time in over 50 years. And the mission was called Artemis II. It was the second mission of the first crewed mission of NASA's Artemis team. On Friday, April the 10th, just a couple of weeks ago, they came back to Earth carrying a collection of scientific data, including high-resolution images, praised to be some of the most important observations of Earth and the moon. This data provides researchers with valuable insights into the current state of what's happening on our planet now, and enables them to evaluate environmental conditions and identify areas that require our immediate attention. So by analyzing those photos and those images, the scientists can make an informed decisions and develop some strategies that we can use that are facing the Earth, that we can help contribute to those efforts. So this coming Wednesday, just a few days from now, will mark the 56th anniversary of celebrating Earth Awareness Day. A U.S. Senator, Gaylord Nelson, established Earth Day, and it was first observed back in April 22nd, 1970. And the purpose was to highlight environmental damage and increase public awareness about pollution on this planet. So on that day, people around the globe and people here in the United States will gather together for different types of celebrations to support and bless this beautiful planet. Teach your children that the Earth is our mother. She has given us everything that we need. And we as individuals can participate and support those activities that help mitigate any further damage to the environment. So every single day we have the opportunity to bless this earth by walking gently upon it. So I'm going to ask you the question for you to think about this very minute. As you walk around every day, where do you feel most connected to this planet? I want you to turn to the person next to you, and I want you to answer that question, and we're going to give 1 minute for one person to talk to the person, and another minute for the person to talk to you back, to answer that question. Okay, switch, next person. Okay. That felt good, did it not? To talk about that wonderful connection that you have to Mother Earth. So my Native American friend says, they go inside a building to talk to their God. Here we are. We go out into nature, to the natural world, and our Creator speaks to us. Some difference, right? There's a Bible scripture that reads, "The heavens are yours, the earth also is yours, the world and all that in it. You founded them." That's from Psalm 89, verse 11. So I interpret this passage to mean God, superior intelligence, whatever your name is, created this planet for us to be created. So therefore, we possess the authority to take reasonable actions because we have that responsibility. This is our planet. In keeping with the theme, our planet, we care with our mind, our body, our spirit, because we are not separate. We are not separate from the plants. We are not separate from the animals. We are not separate from this earth. Additionally, this passage makes a very important point, that we are stewards. We're not the owners. We are the stewards. We are here to take care of the planet. It is not about doing everything. It's about doing something consistently, consciously, and with love. Thich Nhat Hanh, one of my favorite people, says, "I think God is on earth, inside every living being. What we call the divine is none other than the energy of awakening, of peace, of understanding, and love, which is to be found not only in every human being, but in every species on Earth. I think what he's saying, that we need to realize that we are definitely part of this planet. Now, many of you know all the sad news that's going on in our environment. And Colorado has been no exception. I picked up this Glendale Chronicle, and the main headlines: flowers are blooming early and trees are starved for water as a mile-high city endures a historic drought. I'm sure all of you are familiar with all these things that are happening around the planet. So what we can do is we can understand that Colorado is a microcosm of a macrocosm. Those of us who have lived in Colorado for any length of time can share many personal experiences that we've had over the years. It's hotter, it's drier. The plants and trees are stressed. The air is toxic, and the trees are struggling. This is very much unwelcome news. However, it's not too late. Human-caused climate issues increased the average Colorado temperature by 2.3 degrees Fahrenheit from 1980 to 1922, according to the Colorado State University study. If greenhouse gas emissions are moderately, now just listen to this, if, that's a big word, moderately reduced, the average temperature may still rise by 1 to 4 degrees over the next 24 years. That's really bad news. The statistics paint a grim picture, and we look at the history of the temperatures in the state have increased. In 9 out of the 11 years since 2012, we've had the hottest years on record. Across the globe, devastating climate catastrophes are happening. For example, this is just the floods in Malawi, which is a country in South Africa. It's a landlocked country. And this country was affected by the cyclones on the coast in 2023, caused extensive damage, causing lots of deaths and flooding around the area. Okay, so that's the bad news. So what is the good news? The good news is that people are beginning to create ways to mitigate the damage of the planet. And sometimes, however, those negative things do happen. So when Lori asked me to give this Earth Day lesson, I realized that the topic was so vast. How was I going to put all of this information into 30 minutes? So I decided I want to concentrate on what are the things that you can think about doing? What are the things that you can do right now to help mitigate what is happening? I want you to think about some of the things that you do currently and some of the things you might incorporate in your daily lives to help. First of all, I want to tell you an ancient parable. Thousands of years ago, in a distant land, a wealthy man's house caught fire. He had several children, and they were inside of the house. And he was urging them, children, please come out of the house. Please come out of the house. The house is on fire. It's burning. And the father knew one thing about his children, that they had a fondness for playthings. They loved lots of toys. So he didn't panic. He said, listen, children, outside the gate, I have some carts for you. I know you love carts. They're pulled by goats. I have some carts that are pulled by deer. And there's some carts that are pulled by oxen. Please come out and play with them. The wealthy man, but a very loving, concerned father, knew that these toys would be irresistible to his children. and they would be eager to play with him. So the children finally listened and came out of the house. But when they came out, they had this beautiful surprise that their father had gotten for them out of his love and his concern. And those carts were actually draped with precious stones and pulled by white stallions. The children were not only delighted with their gifts, but they were saved from the danger of the fire. So today, many people equate our situation on this earth with the burning house, not in a spirit of fear, but as a call to awareness. In this parable, the Father, of course, represents, could be Buddha, could be Jesus, could be God, universe, spirit, whatever term you choose to use. But the Father symbolizes our higher consciousness or our spiritual guide, acting compassionately to save all beings, all sentient beings. The Father did not scare the children out of the house. He inspired them. And in order for us to make a change, we have to be inspired. Therefore, when we are divinely inspired, we take the needed action. In these next few minutes, as I go on through this lesson, I want you to think about what inspires you to take care of this earth. So let's explore more about what this burning parable means. The burning house symbolizes the world suffering, the manifesting forest fires, the floods, the famines, the extreme weather. But the teachings and warnings of sages like the Father, what we call them, are urging children to leave their pleasure behind for the great pleasure of experiencing nirvana, or in unity and Christianity, we call the Christ consciousness. The promise of the better carts was the Father's trick, but as an example of teaching ways for people to understand this full truth. And you know, in all the Gospels, Jesus teaches in parables. So the parables is actually a story that's dressed up fancy to let us know the moral of what we need to do. So the inattentive, disobedient children symbolize us that are distracted by some of the things that we see around going around in the planet. So over the millennia, like those children, we have become careless, thoughtless, and focused on materialism and consumerism. So why does this parable matter today? So what are the lessons that we can be learned? It encourages to meet others where they are, especially in teaching and helping them. It does no good to just tell a person, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do that. That doesn't work, because people need to feel the need. In other words, they need to be inspired. This is from space, a deep space image from Artemis 2 that reveals the Earth's curved beauty, one of the clearest views captured in over 50 years. And the astronaut has a quote as he says, "Trust us, you look amazing, you are beautiful. Seeing the Earth from space has made one thing clear. We are one single people, no matter where you come from or how you look." I think that is a very significant message, because it's a message of hope. The planet is an ecosystem of diverse types of ecosystems, Just as the house that we talked about in the parable was no longer safe from the children, it becomes less safe when it's overheated, overused, and ignored. So this is connection that we need to really take a look at. That sometimes we continue to do things even when we have been warned. But we need to encourage each other that there is hope. There are things that we can do. People do not change through fear, but through this hope and inspiration. And as you saw, the father did not give his children a punishment, or he didn't threaten them. He gave them a compassionate ways forward to a viable future. And this Earth Day, we are hearing about those viable alternatives that we can take, each one of us, just one step each day to bring about the change on this planet. And like parables, spiritual truth is most often revealed gradually. You don't all of a sudden wake up one day and say, oh, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that. It takes time. You don't just do something just because you do it. You practice. It takes practice. So caring for the earth is not a sacrifice, but a compassionate path that leads to deeper well-being, for we are not separate from this planet. So over the course of the week, I'd like to offer you some questions that you can think about. What are the distractions today that keep us from seeing what is happening on the planet? Where do you see people waking up? What does stepping out of the burning house look like in your own life? The Lakota shaman, the Black Elk, once said, "We don't have to heal the earth. She can heal herself. All we have to do is stop making her sick." This simple truth, I would add, that the earth can heal us too. So as you think about what is keeping you from seeing what is happening on the planet, and where do you see people waking up, and what does really stepping out of the burning house mean? So in his book, The Art of Living, Thich Nhat Hanh writes, "If we see the earth just as a block of matter lying outside of us, then we have not truly seen the earth. We need to be able to see that part of the earth and to see that the entire earth is in us. The earth is also alive. It has intelligence and creativity. If the earth were inert matter, it would not give us birth to countless great beings, including the Buddha, the Jesus, Muhammad, and Moses. The earth is also the mother to our parents and to us. Looking with eyes of non-discrimination, we can establish a close relationship with earth. We look at the earth with our heart, not our eyes of cold reasoning. You are the planet, and the planet is you. The well-being of your body is not possible without the well-being of the planet. And that is why we need to protect your well-being, your body, and well-being of the planet." On this first photo, as you see, is the continent of Africa. And 22 countries are building 8,000 kilometers of wall of tree across the entire continent to stop the Sahara Desert from advancing. It's called the Great Wall. It is not built to divide, but survive. So there have been, as you have probably been aware, There have been several noted events for planting trees to prevent the desert from expanding across the planet. One notable story is out of Africa, the story of Wangari Maathai. It is highly inspirational and gives us hope. So in the country of Kenya, she helped save the planet by starting a continental movement, planting 30 million trees. She instinctively understood that peace cannot exist on a dying planet. In the 1970s in Kenya, the forests were disappearing. And the reason why they were disappearing is that people don't have an infrastructure for electricity. So they have to cut wood in order to make fires to keep warm and to do their cooking. So without tree roots, the soil washed away, the rivers dried up, the crops failed, and people were just in dire poverty. Whole communities. So Wangari Maathai, a biology professor and first woman in the East and Central Africa to earn a doctorate, saw this crisis. She was moved because she not only had the scientific knowledge, but she also had the heart, the passion to want to help her community, to help her country. So this was not charity, but employment that offered dignity and power. The women who never earned income suddenly had both money and purpose. She would give them these seeds, and they would plant, and many of them made money from doing these plantings. The communities turned green, the soil stabilized and provided firewood, created shade, and restored water sources. So people were able to sell this firewood to be able to make money, to be able to support their families. However, as in many cases, the government of Kenya saw her as a threat, and they labeled her subversive and dangerous. And in 1992, the police brutalized her during a protest that they had at one of the national parks. She faced repeated arrests, tear gas, intimidation, and violence, and public humiliation. But by 2004, the Greenbelt movement had planted these 30 million trees, and actually today there's 51 million trees. And the idea of planting the trees to keep the desert from encroaching further south on the continent. 51 million trees have been planted. So environmental restoration and women's empowerment became the same revolution. Wangari Maathai joined the ranks of history's peacemakers, writing a new playbook. She was the first woman, as I mentioned before, to win a Nobel Peace Prize. And she provided that fighting injustice does not require an army. It just requires seeds and courage. The seeds not only planted in the soil, but also the seeds that are planted in a heart of love, compassion, and caring. When she died in 2011, the Greenbelt movement had planted over 51 million trees, as I mentioned before. And more importantly, Kenya adopted a new constitution protecting environmental rights, partly due to her activism. So again, millions of African women learned that power comes from planning and nurturing, not waiting for permission. Wangari Maathai's work remains prophetic. Environmental destruction and human oppression are the same fight. The most revolutionary act might be a simple putting a seed in the ground and protecting it as it grows. Her portrait still hangs in Oslo, but her true legacy is in millions of reasons to believe that revolution does not have to be or have a roar. It sometimes just grows one seed at a time. And just your understanding and love from each other can move us forward to move this planet. So her main contribution, as we look at it and boil it down, no justice, no peace. In order to have peace on this earth, there has to be justice. We have to move forward and do the right thing for the right reason. And there's more. The inspiration that comes from space travel. Now, this man traveled, his name is Ron Garan. He was retired NASA astronaut, and he is celebrated for his research and humanitarian contributions. He spent 178 days in space and traveled over 71 million miles, which is 2,842 orbits, and he returned to Earth in 2008 after 5 months on the International Space Station. He had a transformed understanding of humanity. From the orbit, the Earth's single radiant blue sphere suspended in darkness, no lines, no borders, no flags. Every human conflict was small. Every human connection was unavoidable. Garan used Plato's allegory of the cave to illustrate how we often see a small representation, not the small picture, to solve our problems. Plato's allegory, as you may remember, is a metaphor for the human journey from our ignorance into enlightenment. And he said, we are all, as a species, to some extent, floating in darkness. I use Plato's allegory of the cave to illustrate how a lot of times we think we know the whole picture, when in reality, we see an exceedingly small representation. We don't see the actual picture that allows us to solve a lot of the problems that we face. We are paying a high price right now as a civilization. This is really a dark time, and part of the reason that we are not solving the problem is because we don't have the right perspective. We are not addressing things in the reality of the situation as they exist. And I think that's one of the reasons why we need to leave the cave. We need to get out of the darkness. He urges us to gain a more insightful perspective about the planet. And I could just understand that transformation from that period of being so high above our planet and seeing that what we have made a mountain out of a molehill in the relationships that we have between each other. I just am so hopefully optimistic that we can take these lessons from Wangari Maathai, from Ron Garan, and from understanding the parable of the burning house into our lives every day. If humanity continues to treat Earth as an unlimited resource, the consequences are universal. Because what happens in one section of the planet affects another section of the planet. Nothing is in isolation. That's one of the first principles we learn in biology. You can tell I'm a biology teacher. Whatever you do has consequences, not only for that particular area, but for another area. So in closing, I would like to say the burning house parable powerfully reflects our planet today. Yes, we are warmed by climate change, strained by pollution, and weakened by carelessness. But like children, we are distracted. However, in our wisdom, it's still reaching us, it's still coming through, inviting us to step out of the flames and to choose a better way. caring for the earth is a compassionate path leading us to deeper understanding. That's what we need, understanding, being able to share our perspective and being able to understand the other person's perspective. We are not separate. We are the planet. So in keeping with that, let us go into our meditation. So as you focus on your breath, just allow yourself to just be appreciative of the oxygen that you are breathing. Just allow yourself to understand that we are all connected. As we take a moment to just center ourselves and reflect on the psalm, the earth is the Lord's and everything in it. I am grateful for my lungs and the oxygen that sustains my life. I feel myself here in this very moment. Here I imagine the earth not as something outside me, but as something I am part of. I remember that earth is not something to escape. It's something to care for with awakened awareness. No matter what my faith tradition, across all traditions I am reminded, I am not separate from the earth. I'm the caretaker. I'm a participant. I am an expression of the divine. I can imagine myself inside a house that I notice it gets warm and I sense that something may not be right. But instead of fear, there's something that's calling me outward. Fresh air, light, a sense of peace. I step outside and before me is this living, breathing, green, wonderful light outwardly calling me. And I feel my connection to it. The seeds have been planted. And I gently ask myself, what is a single small step I feel I can take? Not everything. Just one. I make a conscious decision to live in alignment with Earth. This is not an idealistic aspiration. It's a meaningful change in my perspective. This week, I will join millions of people around the world to support and bless this earth. My loving thoughts and actions, I plant those seeds everywhere. Reach out to bless my relationships, my community. My thoughtful choices bless this earth, my prayer time. Even as I take my food, I bless it. I feel grateful for the landscape, the seascapes. I affirm for myself. I make a conscious decision to live in alignment with nature. Each person I encounter is like a tree in an aspen grove. No tree is solitary. No tree is independent. On this earth, we all share the same root system. Everything in nature is here in support of me. God's plentiful resources provide me with all that I need to nourish and support me. There's always enough. This magnificent planet blesses me with food to eat, water to drink, oxygen to breathe. I honor and celebrate the seas, the skies, the sands, the trees, the plants, the animals, the soil. My eyes are open to the oneness of life. I fully accept my role as caretaker. All creatures, great and small, I am thankful. And so it is. Amen.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. We are one now, 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 we are one now.
And now we have an opportunity to share our gifts, our financial gifts, with this very loving community. And I just want to say that I just thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for all the love that you have shown, not only to me, but to every other person in this community. And so with that, I would like to say our offering blessing. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, all that I give, and all that I receive.
Mother, I feel you under my feet. Mother, I feel your heartbeat. Mother, I feel you under my feet. Mother, I feel you. Mother, I feel you deep in my soul. Mother, I feel your heart flow. Mother, I feel you under my soul. Mother, I feel you. Mother, I feel you whisper to me. Mother, I feel your heart breathe. Mother, I feel you whisper to me. Mother, I feel you. Mother, I feel you under my feet. Mother, I feel your heartbeat. Mother, I feel you under my feet. Mother, I feel you. Mother, I feel you.
please join with me as we say our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am that light. The love of God enfolds us. I am that love. The power of God protects us. I am that power. The presence of God watches over us. I am that presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Happy birthday to